Today I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite websites, so it's a break from my typical App 101 video, but I wanted to kind of give a brief description of how I manage Symbaloo and why it's been such a powerful tool in my classroom. So if you're not familiar with Symbaloo at all, it's a visual bookmarking tool, so you can kind of imagine your favorites or your favorites bar being put into this web mix that you see in front of you here on the screen, and each favorite is one of these tiles. And when you click on that tiles, it'll take you to a website or something else on the web that you have tied to that tile. The first thing I want to show for Symbaloo is that if you set up an account for free, go to symbalooedu.com and make an account. One of the most powerful things about Symbaloo is that you can kind of borrow from other people the first time you get started, and you don't have to create your own web mixes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you come up here into the top right hand, and if you search for web mixes and then type in a content area, grade level, or something that you want to search for this purpose we'll do science. And you can see here all the different people have made science web mixes already. So I'm going to check out this elementary science one, and looks like it has tons of great links. You could click on these to check them out and see where they each go. But I'm going to say I love this one. I want to add it to my account. All I'm going to do is press this orange button, add to web mix, and now that web mix has been added to my account. It's ready to go for the kids to use. You just have to share your bookmark. Another great feature of Symbaloo is that it can be embedded into websites or blogs, so that your kids don't even have to know you have an account. It's great for sharing with parents on your website or your blog the different sites that you're using in the classroom. But it's simple as that to get started. To create an account, come up here, search web mixes, and search for different content. You can search grade levels, kindergarten, first grade, just different tags. And the more tags you search, the more kinds of web mixes you will come up with. What I've done in my classroom is I have created a personal Symbaloo account, and I've organized all the websites that my kids are going to go to through the year by unit. So you can see right now you're looking at Unit 1, and these are the websites that I want my kids to go to the first 4 weeks of school, 3 or 4 weeks of school. And I went 2 or 3 years ago, I went through and made a web mix each unit, and now for the last 2 years it's just easy for me to drag and drop the different websites that I want them to see. Before I show you how that looks, I want to just do a little the basics of Symbaloo. The first thing that you're going to want to know how to do is to create a tile. So we're going to say that I want Starfall to be a tile for my classroom. I'm just going to copy this link at the top. I'm going to pick any of these gray boxes, and I'm going to add a new tile. You can also search for tiles here if you want to search for things that people maybe already made, like Starfall. But I'm going to create my own. I just drop the link in here, and Symbaloo will auto-populate a title for you, and I usually kind of shorten that or change it to what I want my kids to see. And by checking this Show Text button, you can add or delete the text from showing up there. And then the last thing is the image. So Symbaloo has picked this image for me. I want a different image that my kids will recognize, so I'm going to upload an image. And to do that, I just take a screenshot of the website. So I have one here that I already created. And I upload that screenshot, and then I can pick exactly which part I want the kids to see, so I know that they'll recognize the website. So I know my kids will recognize this part. I'm going to use that selection. And then down here, I'm just going to press save, and that drops in right here. So you can see that one I just created. If I click on that, it will take the kids directly to Starfall. If you wanted to take them to a specific game, you would just get the URL for that specific game and add that tile instead of the general one. So whatever website you pick, it'll add that. Another great feature that Symbaloo added for organizing your web mixes is the ability to group your tiles together. One way is by adding markers. So I click the options button here at the top, and then I'm going to add a new marker. Once that's green, I can just select on here which tiles I want to group together, and then you can see it changed all those to the blue background. They're grouped together, and here I can change the color so that they're grouped. So if you wanted to have a group of science, so we'll stick with the science theme here. And then when they hover over it, it'll show the science. So again, it groups those tiles together for that. If I want to get rid of that new marker, I just can press delete, and you see that marker goes away. Another great feature that they added is the ability to group the tiles together. So if I hold one tile on top of the other, I can drag it in there, kind of like what you do on the iPad when you make folders. And so that's a new group there. If I want to edit that, and let's stick with science again, I can make this my science group. And you can also change the colors of that tile. We'll make it green for science. And then I will save that. So this is a group. You can see that little blue circle there with the group icon. Tells me that that's a group tile. When I click on it, however many I have in there, and the title has put in there. You can also create a custom image for this tile. So if I wanted to upload an image like I did on that other tile, I could do that and customize it even more. So that group feature is going to be a great addition to the way I organize the web mixes this year in my classroom. And then if you want to take them out of the group, it's just as simple as dragging them out, and then you can get rid of that group easily. So that's how you make a tile. Those are some different options for grouping them. Again, these are called web mixes, so you can see these tabs here at the top are each a different web mixes for my unit. But what makes this really powerful is the ability for me to drag and drop these, like I said, each week, and not have to spend a lot of time looking for the websites or copying favorites onto computers. So what I'm going to do is sign out here and log into the student account. And each one of our computers, the kids log into the student Symbaloo account. We have 49 computers, 42 computers, so I know that up to 40 or more can be logged into the same account using it. And once they log in, they see these three tabs. We have literacy, we have math, and we have big centers, which is our social studies and science. And so I tend to keep it anywhere from 4 to 6 links in each one of those tabs for the kids to go to. And then the next week I'll drag and drop the different tiles in there. So some of these tiles are directly from our curriculum website. The math ones are different math websites that I've found over the years. And then one of the cool features, if you use Pebble Go or Discovery Ed or BrainPop or any of those sites that are require login, we have it set up where auto login, so that when they go to Discovery Ed, we can watch some of the videos from our curriculum. Same thing with Pebble Go. And so it really helps the kids access those things that would require login otherwise. So here's what I do each week. I log into the student's account, and then I search for my personal Symbaloo. So I'm going to search Matt Gomez Symbaloo. Here's my personal Symbaloo account. All I do is find the unit that we're using. So let's say we're using Unit 7, and I add that to the student account. So you can see Unit 7 has been added with all those websites. Now here's the little tricky part with adding webmix. Right now this webmix is locked, which means I can't make any changes to it. The good feature about it being locked is if you add a webmix and it's locked, then anytime that person that you borrowed it from makes updates, you get those updates. So sometimes it can be a benefit. For this purpose, I want to stop the update, so I'm going to press the share button here at the top. I'm going to press stop updates, and you'll notice the little lock icon goes away. Now I can manage this webmix however I want. Then all I do is I drag over the literacy jobs I want them to use for the week. I do the same thing for the math jobs I want them to do for the week, and the same thing for the science jobs that I want them to do for the week. So once I've dragged over the 3 or 4 for that week that I want them to use, I just delete the Unit 7 off of there. It doesn't delete it from my master account, it only deletes it from this one. And now those new games are in there ready to go. The old games I can easily remove, and then I can reorganize it however I want. It literally takes me anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes max to organize the websites each week for the whole year. And I just do that each Sunday so that the web mixes are ready to go. A couple other cool features I want to show about Symbaloo is if you have YouTube links, the YouTube links will play directly in Symbaloo. It doesn't take them out of the Symbaloo, so you can see it's playing embedded here. And if you press play, it'll play directly in this screen. If YouTube is blocked in your district or blocked for the kids, it won't fix that, but it does keep them from going to another website. Really neat thing with Symbaloo is Google Docs. This is something I plan on using a lot. You see it opens up in an embedded screen as well. So if you have a Google Doc or a Google spreadsheet, one of the really neat things is it is a live document even within Symbaloo. So I'm typing inside Symbaloo. If we go over to the Google Doc that I created, you can see what I just typed is there. And to me, that is a wow feature that they can embed the Google Doc, but it's also live within the document. So teachers could set up Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, even forms to do little formative assessments, or kind of a end of the day, I want to see what you've done, kind of exit ticket type thing for the kids. So it's really unlimited on what you can do with Symbaloo. If it has a website, you can basically put it on here. And I hope this kind of walking through how I manage it with the 2 accounts and keep that organized through the whole year has helped me in my kindergarten classroom. The other thing I want to mention real quickly before I finish this webcast is all these web mixes, once you create them, they can be embedded into websites. So if you don't want kids logging on the account, or if you have a website that they can access or a blog, all you have to do is go to the share button and get the embed code here, and then this Symbaloo can be embedded, and it works live directly from your website just like it does here on the screen.